And up next here, we got a girl that's getting a lot of hype, and I'm not really sure why, with Shauna Bannon taking on Bruna Brasil. Like, I saw Shauna Bannon got to be on Ariel Helwani's show today. I didn't watch the interview or anything, but I really don't see anything special with Shauna Bannon. She's 29 years old, so not like she's that young or like a super prospect, but she is 5-0. She's won 10 fights in a row if you go back to her amateur career. She's Irish, and she's an all-rounder on the feet. She is pretty fast, and she has that wide-bladed stance. She likes to be all the way in or all the way out, and she could switch stance, and she's pretty good at cutting the cage off. She closes the distance fast. Like, she has kind of like that karate ability to move in and out quickly, and she'll throw big overhands. She has long arms, so she can land from farther out, and she likes to throw 3-2s, 2-3s, and it seems like she has okay punching power. She'll also use a lot of lead leg side kicks. She'll use those kicks to the body and the head, and she could struggle against pressure fighters, though. Girls that will stand up to her and not back up and just try to exchange in the pocket. She has bad defense. She has her hands down, and fighters that land on her clean, they make her have a little bit of awkward reactions to getting hit. And I don't think she really likes being hit that much or has been hit that clean in a lot of her fights. And I don't think she's ever fought an opponent as clean and technical with the striking as Brazil, or with someone with the head kick quite like Brazil's either. Bannon, I think in this fight she needs to be aggressive with the hands, pressure, throw combinations, and try to mix in the takedowns. She has to avoid getting in a finesse striking battle or a kicking war with Brazil, because you're playing right into Brazil's game at that point, and I think Bruna would get the better of that. But Bannon will use her striking to kind of push girls against the cage, and she has good clinch control. She doesn't really have the best wrestling, but she will look for trips and takedowns, and when she can get on top, she's fairly effective. But she's still developing. I mean, if she faces a high-level wrestler, I think she will get held down and laid on herself or held against a cage. With this particular matchup, I expect Bannon to be stronger in the clinch, but it's kind of hard to say. And in terms of the grappling and wrestling, I want to say Bannon has the advantage as well, but it's also kind of difficult to say because Brazil does have a good guillotine. I've seen Bannon get put on her back, and I think she definitely has to avoid that in this fight. But she is aggressive with her jiu-jitsu, and it seems like her grappling is probably her most dangerous asset along with her kick. She's very flexible, so she could take the back from weird positions and throw up triangles, and she has a fairly dangerous submission game. But Bruna Brasil, she has a lot to prove. She had a really bad debut in the UFC, and I feel like she fought well below her ability. But she's tall, long, she's athletic, and she does hold her hands low, and she does like to kind of use her length and be able to pull counter to avoid getting hit. And she also has very fast head kicks. But we saw Denise Gomes just walk her down and kind of throw in combination, walk through some of the counter strikes and land clean on Brazil and take her out. But I feel like Brazil wasn't fighting up to her full capabilities. I think if she could stay on the feet at range and use her length and her ability with her kicks and her distance control, she could definitely land on Bannon and start to pressure her and get the better of the striking. But it's a fight where it's like, it's tough because I don't think Brazil has as good a hands as Bannon. But if she could pressure, it could negate a lot of that. But Brazil has questionable wrestling and grappling, I would say. She does have some judo in her back pocket, and I've seen her get some takedowns, but takedown defense is a little bit average. She does have a good guillotine, but I don't know how she's going to do if she gets taken down against a girl like Bannon. She did sweep Marnik Mann in her Contender Series fight, was able to out-grapple her. And cardio-wise, if Brazil holds up, she's a lot more experienced than Bannon is. And I feel like it's a close fight. I'm not sold on Bannon at all. So, personally, I'm going to go with Bruna Brasil. Pick her to win in a close decision, but this fight I really don't have a lot of interest in, and I'm not that invested in at all. Like, even from a pick standpoint, I feel like both these girls are kind of the lower level of the UFC, but I'm going to go with Brazil just because I think she's more skilled overall. She's fought better opponents too, so I'll go with Bruna Brasil in this one, but pretty unconfident pick.